Fair fights do not exist. In a real confrontation, speed, size, and strength mean nothing if you don't know where to break the human system. Survival depends on precision, on shutting the body down before it processes what happened. Today you'll learn 9 lethal ninjutsu techniques so brutal they were banned from modern dojos because they were designed for elimination, not demonstration. 1. Tracheal spike. The front of the throat is soft. Behind it sits the trachea, the air column that keeps you alive. A driving strike or thumb pressure crushes the cartilage rings, sealing the airway. The oxygen line collapses, the body panics, and the brain begins shutting down within seconds. The gag reflex and airway trauma cause automatic collapse. This is a respiratory kill switch, one of the fastest you can trigger. 2. Carotid shear. Under the jaw runs the carotid sinus, a pressure-sensitive control for blood flow and heart rhythm. A focused squeeze or knife hand strike on both sides cuts oxygen to the brain. 2 seconds, blackout. 5 seconds, unconsciousness. The nervous system misreads the pressure as extreme blood surge and shuts off the heart's output to compensate. The result is instant system failure with minimal effort. 3. Cervical break. The next 3rd to 5th vertebrae are a narrow channel carrying every command between brain and body. A twisting jerk or rotation creates torque across the cervical spine. The signal chain cuts out. Balance disappears. Motor control vanishes. The brain stays awake for a moment, but the body is already a disconnected shell. This is structural annihilation, not just injury. 4. Mandibular shock. Under the jawline is a nerve highway tied to the brainstem, the mandibular and hypoglossal branches. A hard upward strike forces the jawbone against these nerves. Electrical chaos surges through the cranial loop. Vision distorts, eardrums pulse, equilibrium disintegrates. The opponent drops not from pain, but because the brain loses the ability to orient its own body in space. 5. Solar plexus crush. The solar plexus sits behind the sternum where the diaphragm connects to core stability. A focused strike, knee or palm heel, drives the plexus into spasm. The diaphragm locks, breathing stops for 5 to 10 seconds. The pain reflex disables muscle coordination. Every trained fighter knows the sound: forced exhalation and collapse. The target's body literally forgets how to breathe. 6. Brachial plexus stun. This nerve bundle sits between the neck and shoulder, a control line for arm movement. A downward strike compresses it against the clavicle. The shock overloads the sensory and motor branches. The arm goes dead. The opposite leg may also buckle through reflex crossover. The chest seizes because the diaphragm shares the same nerve path. You don't wait. You strike, move, and exit before recovery initiates. 7. Femoral shutdown. The femoral nerve and artery lie just beneath the inner thigh, inches from the surface. A precise inward kick, knuckle drive, or short knee impact triggers violent pain spikes into the spine. The leg loses power. The supporter collapses. Blood pressure drops from immediate vasoconstriction. The response isn't conscious. The brain withdraws control from the limb to stabilize the core. 8. Kidney shock. The kidneys sit behind the floating ribs, close to the surface with minimal bone defense. A sharp, upward vertical strike, fist, knee, or elbow, floods the nervous system with pain and adrenal shock. The person folds in silence, the body's chemistry dumped into panic. The blood filtering function constricts, blood pressure falls, and vision goes dark. There's no resilience training for this one. It bypasses willpower. 9. Vagus clamp. Running along the side of the neck, the vagus nerve controls heartbeat, digestion, and unconscious reflexes. Grip both sides under the jawline and compress diagonally. Heart rate nosedives, blood flow slows, vision narrows into a tunnel, then black. The victim may convulse because the autonomic system shuts off power across vital organs. This is not pain. It's a reboot induced by hardware failure. The original ninjas weren't concerned with sport or honor. They studied anatomy, mechanics, and fear. Every band technique here is an equation. Force plus precision equals control over life and death. Modern schools remove them because they're irreversible. But real violence doesn't pause for referees or rules. Your advantage isn't strength. It's understanding the body's failure points. Every joint, every nerve, every system can be shut down when you know the angle and purpose. Strike what controls function, not what looks threatening. End the fight before it begins. You don't survive by fighting harder. You survive by breaking faster. Learn the 9 forbidden mechanics of ninjutsu because one day, the difference between knowledge and hesitation will decide who walks away.